when you're playing a minor 7 chord, let's say we were doing E minor 7, a lot of people will learn this particular shape where you have the root, the flat third, the flat 7, and the 9. And a lot of times too, if you use that index finger to bar, you could get that 11 in there as well. It's a very beautiful sound, but what exactly are those notes that are really making it come to life? Well, if we take those top 4 notes, let's look at that voicing a little bit more closely. So if we were just looking at this in isolation, like some kind of G chord, you know, so this we could kind of call it like a G, you know, major 9 with the third omitted. So it's, you have the root, the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th. So if we made a scale out of this, it would be like, so what would the inversions look like? I have another video where I talk about exploring the inversions for every chord that you play. So for this one, since we're thinking E minor, we could hit that low E in the bass to get that E minor 11 sound. So let's look at the inversions. So if we move this up, we have, and we have, on the other string sets, now what about for this voicing? We do have like that flat 9 tension, which there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But what if we swapped those notes? So instead of the 7th on the bottom and the root on the top, now we have the root on the bottom and the 7th on the top. So that would be the chord now. And the inversions for that, so the first inversion, I believe we would have, and I think that the next 2 inversions are probably going to be too wide for the guitar. Yeah, it's not really doable for guitar. This one's not too bad just because we're in the upper range, but in the lower range this wouldn't be doable. So yeah, for that one, these are really the main inversions we're looking at. Now what about, so we take this chord, this is just this one, but an octave lower. We take that second note up, in this case the 5th, and we raise it up an octave. So now we have, let's take the inversions of this one. So first we have this, let's move down this time. So we have, now we have, let me see. Then we have, now if we were listening to this one in isolation without the low E, let's move it down an octave. That should sound familiar. What chord does that sound like? It sounds like a dominant sus chord, in this case A7 sus. So, interestingly enough, those same notes that kind of magically make that A sus, that dominant sus chord come to life, are the notes that we're working with right now that can make these minor 7 chords also come to life. Now another voicing I wanted to talk about was this one, which is, you could say this is like the third inversion of this one. So you have, root position, first inversion, let's see, second inversion, and then this one, third inversion. So this one, interestingly enough, let's say we were in the key of D. I hear a lot of like singer-songwriter type guitarists, they'll do something like that, but when you have this one, that's the voicing we're dealing with. So in the key we were in before, but that's the same voicing, another voicing that makes that particular chord that some of those singer-songwriters will do. It's another voicing that makes it come to life. So those voicings really can be very powerful with bringing a lot of different kind of chords to life, adding all sorts of color to your harmony and whatnot. And you can use this on, all different types of chords. Like I said, especially with minor chords, you don't have to think just in terms of like 2 minor, like for these types of chords. You could also think in terms of 6 minor. So let's say we were, so now we have, see if I can get this one. So like I said, all different types of chords you can use these types of voicings for to kind of add that additional layer of color. And this can really make your chord vocabulary, so to speak, really kind of bring it to life. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about for today.